It's recorded.
Good evening, we'll start the meeting at 6:35. And those of you who just want to go over that, last month, we didn't have an official meeting because we didn't have a quorum. So we'll be covering 2 months worth of agenda tonight. So we're going to start with the minutes. We have both the minutes from June and July that were sent out recently.
You don't have minutes for July. You didn't have a meeting.
Oh, we don't have minutes for July, you're right, we only have minutes.
You should make note of the fact that they met, but there was no quorum.
Yes, I did just say that. So, did I? Yes, I did. Yes, okay, so, we just have,
minutes?
no, we just went through the,
Oh, okay.
you know.
I know, yeah, I was here, but I
Mhm.
just,
Got it.
okay.
Okay, so I would like you, could I have a motion to accept June's minutes, please?
Make a motion, Mary. I second the motion, Lynn.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so then that brings us to the treasurer's financial report, which would be for June and July. Michelle,
You're up.
Do I have to go through them again?
again,
July.
Okay,
just July's fine.
just July, okay. Well, some of them were repentant. If you noted in the email that you had the money that came in from the town, we got the SAL's support through Warren County and the local library, as well as the 10% retainage, the $833 from New York State for our generator grant. But the one thing I wanted to make note of was the money that we received from the book sale, which is not really delineated on there. The total on that was $8,364, and we had budgeted $7,500, so we made a little bit more than what we budgeted. And again, I'd like to thank Sue and Mary and Lynn and all the people that worked on it. I heard lots of positive things about it, so I think everything went really well. I think the layout of it worked really well. A couple of other things from the expense side. It was just the unemployment, the reemployment service fund for $32.55, and our workers' comp audit were the only two items beyond our contractual expenses. The one thing that we need to kind of look at, Megan, is just sort of the book budget. And whether we're going to extend that now or we could keep it to $1,100.
We could certainly discuss it later on in the meeting, but I would like to consider giving me some more money, just to be sure, just to be safe. I keep a folder of books that I want to order. And also I think September is a month when a lot of new books, specific authors come out. So if you could add a little bit more money to the book budget, that would be great.
Okay. How much do you want?
Well, it's not through December because I try not to order in December, like from the middle of November until the end of the year. I try not to order. So even another $1,000 probably would be great.
Do you have some, like, specific, I mean, what, I'm not even sure what $1,000 buys, is that like?
So that would bring the total up to about
Like-
$2,000.
And you have about that many books in mind that are coming out in September?
I would make sure. There have been books I've put off. There are authors that are coming out with new books that I can pre-order. I just today saw Louise Penny has a new book coming out. And of course, I can't think of any of the others offhand, but if you added another $1,000, that would definitely cover the books that we would want to buy.
Is it a better way to do it that way? Or do you spend $1,000 when you know you need more, just let us know? I mean, rather than at the end of the year saying, oh my gosh, I have $500 left, how am I gonna spend it, and just buying,
I wouldn't,
you know.
I just would blow the money.
No, but I'm just trying to think, what was it, this, is our budget the same as it's been other years?
We haven't increased it.
We haven't increased. Okay. And books
I don't
cost-
believe we have.
And books
No,
cost
no,
more.
that was the number that you felt comfortable. with.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you've already incurred quite a bit of expense in August already.
Yes.
Judging from the credit cards that are in there, so.
Okay.
It's almost over.
I mean, I don't necessarily, I think maybe if you just recognize that you are over budget and just, look at it, and you'll see it, it's going over budget and just figure out how much money are we gonna allocate. Because I know like prior boards going through the minutes, they used to just allocate it every 3 months. They would just say, okay, we've got like $750 to spend,
Right.
and then they look at that and then go again, so. It'd be up to the board to say, okay, we're gonna add another $1,000 to it, we just look at it each month, see what it is. But it would be up to Megan to say, is that a reasonable number?
Mhm. So, do you think though, does everybody think that having another 1,000 is a reasonable amount to spend on books an extra? So next year you would keep in mind
Mhm.
whatever you ask for this year.
I would
you
ask.
would
Right, I would include that in
for
what I might ask for. Yes.
that amount next year, and I know that we've had several things, money that has come our way, and what better way to spend it than on books. So, as long as you're, careful and prudent in what you're buying, then I have no problem with it. Would anybody like to make a motion? Terry?
Can I ask you, so they'd just be on books then, not like DVDs or whatever?
No, it would be
books?
it would be whatever I think we need to have. So if I see that there are new DVD movies coming out, it would be both.
But we're not anywhere near our budget amount. It's
Okay,
just,
then I'm not-
it's just the book line item, because they have separate line items.
Oh, that's
Can you just explain, so it's a $1,200 line item for books annually,
No,
7,500.
7,500.
we're down to 11.
We're down to
Yes.
11, okay, that's
Yes.
what I was.
Through July.
So you have plenty of DVD money
Yes.
left to use, so you can look at the difference between.
We just haven't had to buy them because there were so many donations that people gave us.
So you're kind of looking at a 15%.
Mhm.
Tens to 1,000.
Right.
It's not a huge increase, if you look at it that way.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's mapping.
And do we also ask, like, do people make recommendations, like
Mhm.
wish lists and stuff like that?
People, people make suggestions to me.
Mhm.
I keep a folder on my desk. Tammy has started giving me lists of things that we might want to consider. Sarah Clark does a lot of podcasts, and so she'll say, so-and-so has a new book coming out.
You have a recommendation on the website, they can.
Yep.
submit a book request.
The only ones I've gotten so far through that are authors.
And also like author festival, like you already books.
Because because of
a lot more authors.
the authors that were here for the book fair, I wanted to make sure we have
Oh,
their
yeah, we
books
did
as
spend
well.
money on,
Yeah.
quite a bit on those.
Author festival, Joe Kuchak,
Yes,
yeah.
right. So Sarah, did you get that, who made the motion and who seconded the motion?
I had Jerry made the motion.
And Mary, and those, so we'll have a vote, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay,
The 6-month CD rolled over on August 17th. Again, that is money that we have in reserve for capital improvements, and as far as I know, we don't need it in the next 6 months, so my suggestion is that we roll it over again for another 6 months at 4.25%. And as I said in the note, like, that money is made like $3,100 for us, just doing nothing, so,
I make a motion, we roll it over. I'll second that. Elizabeth and Jerry.
Dusty, first, second, those, all those in favor say aye. Opposed?
and farmer's market, Megan said that they've extended it 1 more week,
Mhm.
right? So,
We
right,
wouldn't be making any money.
no, but you know, that's up to you guys, but I just want to say, we're probably short about $200.
Oh, we're not,
So at,
so we
at the,
do drawing at the end of the day?
yes, let me back it.
Oh.
There's another day, another farmer's market added after this week. As it was spur of the moment last Friday. And then
another
he
one
said-
down Next week,
What's
so
that?
it's 2 more weeks.
So there's one this week, this Friday, and then the Friday after Labor Day. But we will have already done the raffle tickets. So there wouldn't be any money really that came in except for someone made a donation.
Okay.
But I mean, we're not gonna take the baskets aren't gonna be here. We would probably take the tote bags, the dolls, the teddy bears and stuff that Lynn makes. And maybe at a September farmer's market, people might be looking to buy a wool hat.
Do we have, we'll need volunteers then,
We would.
right? So-
I've already spoken to Sarah and she would be available to work, so I could come to the afternoon shift. But we would definitely, and I already did speak to Bill Smith, who would be able to help us bring stuff back. But you can just, I told Penelope, I did not give Penelope an answer. I said that I would let her know after the board meeting. So if you don't, I mean,
I guess, can we let her know as long as we can get volunteers, we'll be there?
I can tell her that.
How about we'll do that and we'll work on that this next week.
Might be just a fun farmer's market where you're not trying to keep track of every $10 that you get and.
Hang out.
Still have plenty of bags to sell?
I'm not sure how many are left. You,
What's that?
how many bags are left?
I think.
4, I think,
Yeah.
unless there's some place someplace else.
People have liked
Two in the
them a
thing,
lot.
and I think there's
Yeah.
two
Oh,
on the
yeah,
floor.
I think how can we do?
Yeah, so well, all right, so I was gonna ask, so we ordered something, maybe not. We ordered for next year. We don't need it prior to next year. We can do it.
No, I think you should have them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's hanging right there, people come in, you know.
Okay. Yeah. We'll add the website and phone number. Or we're gonna do that on that as well?
I think
No,
you should.
sorry. No, it's just the magnet that we need.
Yeah, yeah, I think so
We
too.
just need the right color. right?
Yes, we just need, right.
You have that fire pit that needs to get,
Oh, fire pit.
this would be the time, because we talked about possibly doing it from September to Columbus Day or something in a short window. I don't know what else you're thinking of doing, but that would be at least an opportunity to have.
You know, where would be a great place to have that is at the music fest. We could, if we could,
That is a good idea.
if we had
Said
enough
that would surprise.
volunteers to be there.
You know, just,
Right.
people are gonna have
Well,
traffic.
Where you could do it up front, but they also have that section in the basketball/pickleball court where they sell all the food and everything.
Is who's selling food, the fire department? Yeah, right, the fire department is not doing, tell you, because we didn't make money. And so, I don't know if there's any
anybody's gonna
food.
do it.
No, there was a lot, I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody's gonna be, there was a lot of people, but they didn't bring food or
They don't buy, they don't buy.
No,
They didn't buy a lot.
no.
Maybe, like Betsy said, just if there's not gonna be a food thing,
Right.
setting up right here because people park,
Easy peasy.
they're walking to go
We
in.
can just put the thing out front. put a
It
fake
would be a lot
fire in it.
easier.
Yeah. Some fake paper.
And tissue paper, right?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
We've made them before.
All right.
Warm up with a good book.
Yeah.
Do you know the date?
It's on the bulletin board out in the lobby.
Oh, okay.
September,
Okay.
22nd.
yes,
Yeah.
no. But maybe
If it's
between,
out front, I would.
yeah, and, yeah, September. I
Make
can
it
send a
copy
sign
of
up
it
sheet.
somewhere. Right, yeah.
Saturday, the 21st. Or the 22nd.
And then we
It's
could
the weekend.
keep it, we
Oh,
could
is it the whole weekend?
started at the.
Started
just
there in the lobby?
End it there and then by October, so that we're gonna be Columbus Day weekend.
You see, the vendors are gonna have to let people know.
Let me pull up the chamber website.
promote this, because people may just think it's done. I think this is kind of questionable whether people know.
Folk
to
festival.
this extent.
The folk
They
festival.
just tell people that it helps.
The music festival.
Yeah, so-
I know, but they were taking too long.
It is Saturday the 21st.
Would it be possible to have Chamber of Commerce is raffling off paddle board and whatnot?
Yeah.
And we asked them to allow us to do a raffle for the fire pit in the Chamber of Commerce. Or the.
They would put a poster up for us, right?
Would they help?
Yeah.
And they would also, put it in their.
That
what's
would
going
be something,
on.
so that's something that Sarah maintains. She notifies the chamber. You have to put, all the information in, and then Elaine approves it or not.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that they would, that would make their events column, whatever it is.
Right.
Well, because I know, for example, the chefs at the Sagamore for Avianda, one of the locations to purchase tickets was at the, what is that called, visitor center?
Visitor center, yeah.
At the visitor center, and they kept a list of names and they collected the money. So could we have people purchase tickets for the raffle there, and would they possibly be going to?
I guess we could. I mean, because if they,
Picture of it?
yeah, we could give them just a picture of it once we get it set up for the next,
There's a
farmer's
lot of
market.
traffic for that.
Mhm.
About 10 people.
Are we
$100.
Gonna cart that fire pit to the farmer's market.
So we're gonna take a really good picture of it.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
whoever makes it, Sarah, what's their website look like? You know what I mean? If there was
Yeah,
some way.
it came from Plow and Hard, so I can pull the actual photo off Plow and Hard and then use that in the graphic.
Yeah, something like that would probably.
We wanna do the usual ticket, $5 each, 3 for 10.
Yes, I think,
There was a forum, so we didn't make that.
no, we did make a recommendation, but I thought when everybody voted, and not- you can technically vote online, but when everybody took the suggestion in, I thought it was $5 that won, even though some had suggested 10, some had suggested 3.
No, that's too.
I didn't use the 5 that you have, that you use all the time.
I know it's worth a lot more than that, but it does keep it consistent. People will still spend 10, they'll just get 2 tickets instead of 1.
But- I mean, then you would have to use the same rationale for the adult basket, which is worth at least $1,000.
Yeah.
And you still do that for 5 and 3 for 10.
Right, it's true.
The last farmer's market, Lynn's daughter showed up, Lynn, who does all the crochet things. So her daughter, her granddaughter, and her great granddaughter all took a
Oh.
picture of what she had made.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so sent around. We had some interesting people, and then a man, I think he was a retired administrator, so he came in and goes, how does the library work with the Bolton School Library? You know, so I told him about the books that we donate, so I told him all that, so.
Oh, good.
We had a lot of people asking questions, we meet a lot of interesting people.
Good. So in a lot of ways, I think it is worth being there because there are a lot of out-of-town people who ask us questions about what we do here and things like
So
that.
they want a library card, you know, a lot of positive.
Right. I mean, we got 55 new library cards this last month. I have to think that some of them are people that we sent this way from the farmer's market.
Did you finish with the treasurer's
Well,
report?
let me ask that she's not.
Well, did you decide on a price for this
Yes, $5.
per ticket, so no 3 for 10?
I think
But that's what we do?
that's how we do it for everybody.
Five.
$5 a piece and 3 for 10.
Okay, let's just keep it the same. Can somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, and anybody want to second that?
I second the motion.
Okay, those in favor of selling tickets, $5 each or 3 for 10, say aye. We'll go with that, and Sarah, if you could make the poster up, that would be great. And then, just kind of mention to Elaine whether they would be willing or able to also sell tickets there.
I'll give her a call tomorrow.
Okay,
And is the drawing the Columbus Day weekend?
how does that sound for everybody? Columbus Day weekend, that way people can have it in their backyards for when the weather gets cold. So we'll have it for about 6 weeks total. Okay.
I do have like the 2025 budget, like all the committees to just start thinking about what they want for next year. And like part of like the fundraising, so they give you like, think about an allowance for buying bags and that kind of thing, because we really didn't have that. So that would be something to think about, you know, the director has to think about, you know, her thing, the book sale. Everybody and personnel would have to think about salary. Megan has the forms if, when you're ready to sort of like put pen to paper about what you're looking for.
I have a question on the profit and loss for July. And you have a year-to-date column, and then you have a 2024 actual to budget to date. I was, net income said 63,819.04 cents. But then it also, but then it's in red, 63,319.
It's just the way the math works out, and I probably just didn't change the color.
Okay,
So
I thought it was a
we are-
law.
It's in the black, no, we are
Okay.
in the black.
Okay.
At this particular juncture, between getting the money from the town and the book sale money, we have more money than we need immediately,
Right.
but we're gonna need it to the end of the year. So,
Right.
yeah, it's just a
Okay,
matter of whether.
I just thought, I saw the red and I went,
No,
Sure.
no. Well, we're
below
actually,
that or above
we're
that?
actually in good shape right now.
So one other thing, I didn't see a line item, and maybe there wasn't one, where we didn't get money from the authors. Did
We didn't charge them.
We didn't charge them, okay.
We would like, and we would like to continue. to be free. The authors, Sarah and I both agreed that most of these authors this was their first book or their only book and not making a lot of money selling their books, so we didn't want to charge them.
All right,
Other places, one of the authors told me,
$50 a day.
like Saratoga had one and it was $50 to get it.
They paid.
That the authors had to pay to whoever had the fair. So we would really like to keep it free. It was a
I thought
really
it was
nice,
great.
it was a nice
Fun,
draw to the,
yeah.
for the library.
Mhm.
It brought in so many people plus, we really got a lot of positive feedback. And that I give all thanks to Sarah. This was her idea, her baby, and she did an amazing job putting it together.
We learned a lot.
Yeah, try to be better next year.
My granddaughter got everybody's phone numbers.
We need her.
We're gonna hire her.
So Sarah and I already discussed that it's Avery, right? We definitely want Avery here. She was awesome. She was doing the makeup, she was doing the crafts. And if she has any suggestions, we would love to get them.
She was at the book
I
sale.
was there with her.
Yes.
She was like, boom, boom, boom. She was like, can I help you? What are you looking for? And She the was authors wonderful. did that so much too.
They
Like
did.
one author, a pencil and paddle, the grandkids made the camera, and one author told the story, and then you got a bracelet
Right,
over there.
yeah.
That really
It
was.
was
Wasn't
really good. Really good.
Anything else with finances?
There's other items under the financial piece, but at least that was the treasurer's.
Okay, so. Too many people here. All right, so that's the report. So we're on to the director's part.
I did want you to notice the very significant increase in circulation for July over last year. To me, that's an amazing number. 398 items is a lot. I believe some of that is the weather, but some of it, the library just has been really busy. I mean, we certainly have had slow days, but it seems like they were few and far between. Trivia nights were really busy. We had one where we were maybe a tad over the county's preferred number. The library's just been really busy. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot to point out, but 55 new patrons. Something that Sarah and I were just talking about earlier, the Lake George Library has a link where you could actually get a temporary library card. So if you were in town and you wanted to access Libby, you could actually get a, and we weren't open, you could get a temporary card and use it until the next time you went to the library, and then you would get an official card. We were thinking about adding that to our website. I want to talk to Jack and Sal before we actually do it. There were plenty of events that went on this summer. The library's been hopping. The authors we have had they have all been really interesting. The mindful humaning was amazing. Jody at the town hall, I was talking to her this morning and she said, as I mentioned possibly having a series of programs with that author. She does these life coaching things. And Jody said she would be so in favor of attending something like that. So that is something we want to talk about. But the stripping like nobody's business was very cool. Sarah and I were a little worried when she started out with a dance. But her life was it's certainly an interesting life well lived. She's definitely enjoying herself now. The book club will start again in September. We're reading Under the Banner of Heaven by Don Krakauer, which is a very cool book about the Mormon church and the offshoots. I think that's it.
Anybody have any questions for Megan? Anything? Okay. We have a motion to accept Megan's report. I'll make a motion. So Lynn, and Terry will second. All those
Go ahead.
all those in favor, say aye.
You need to accept the treasury report into the minutes.
And we'll also accept, back up a little bit and accept the treasurer's report into the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
It's not a motion.
It's not an
It's just accepting the draft.
Yeah. And I get it wrong.
You can make it straight.
Okay, that would be good. But then I got so many paperless here, I was using them.
Is there somebody coming in and out or?
No, it's just emails coming out.
Oh, okay. So we don't have any new reports with the executive, but we'll move down to the financial report. And we did talk about and vote about the rollover. And we need to stress again that everybody in each committee needs to think of what they need for next year's budget. And we'll need to have a meeting. What would be the most prudent time that we need to have a meeting to go over the finances? Do you usually do
Probably
it in
the
October?
next couple of weeks, because we're going to get a request from the town.
Pay attention.
Like you said, in the year to September. It's just gonna be up over the, like, I get it, what you want to go for, so.
Okay. So if we could have everybody think about what they're gonna need and get it to, hand it in by mid-September. So that we will meet. Try to meet then before the September's board meeting, which is September 25th. So we'll meet somewhere, try to meet that week before to go on. So Michelle and I.
Yeah, it's just, it's a sheet of paper, and it's like, you're not like locked into it, it's just, this is very rough process at this point.
And, Megan has that sheet.
Yes.
Before we leave.
Okay, so
And I'll talk to the other people on the committee and see if we can't meet perhaps on the 18th of September, which is the Wednesday before. And maybe at 5:30, because I'll be meeting with Megan at 5. So, cyber insurance, we did get one additional quote, and the quote came in at only $925 compared to the $1,800 and $1,600 we had got from the two companies. And I keep keep going back and forth with phone calls to the gentleman who, is the head of that insurance agency, but Will also did get a chance to look it over, and he agrees that although the deductible is a little bit higher on that lower priced insurance, that since we're low risk of having an incident, that it would be worth going with the 925. And obviously, it's almost the end of the year this year, so I think probably what we should do is just put that as a budget item for 2025. And then plan on, purchasing that insurance when we start the new year. If, once we agree on the if we agree, put it in the budget and all agree on that budget. Okay,
Did they lock you in? Because I know the initial one was, like you said, this is gives you 30 days. She said it may not change, but it was a.
I don't know if they give an exact date.
Yeah.
But it is true that by the time January rolls around, it could be 5% more. So if we just, put it in a budget of $1,000, just to cover it, I think that we should be pretty safe. So at 975. So, and I'm not sure if it had a date. It said it was for July 16th is when they first wrote it up, but it doesn't. That would have been if it was from then for a year, but it doesn't say this is, it's only good for 30 days, so. Anyway, so that brings us to hiring a bookkeeper. I know that when we initially put it on social media, the people that applied seemed to be, they were looking more for full-time or more hours, correct?
One person I talked to was very qualified, but she thought she would be working like under somebody because she does have a full-time job. So she felt a little hesitant about taking on more than she could devote the time to. But I don't know, if we figure out something, maybe we could revisit that with her. Because she's not going anywhere, it's somebody that we have. The other person I talked to is interested, but really didn't have a whole lot of experience. And goes away for part of the so they're not here. And as much as we do a lot of things virtually, and somebody has to pick up the mail, which is maybe it would be hard to deal with somebody with that particular position that doesn't feel like.
And since those two people called, we did re-put it on social media with the suggestion that one of the bookkeepers had made to put part-time, is that how we worded it, or part-time or something?
Part-time position or something.
Yes, so that people would understand that a little better, and we never got any more phone calls, did we?
No.
I can put it up again and make sure it specifies part-time.
Do you think that would be good, or should we wait now at this point until a little farther toward the end of the year?
I don't want to keep leaving it up there. Give it a rest for a little
Yes,
while.
okay.
And, I think if once we start working on the budget, and everybody kind of sees what that is, we have a better handle on how to write it up.
It does stay on the Facebook page unless we have Sarah take it out. So if somebody were going to scroll through our page, which something I have done that with other people, they might see it.
Okay, then is there anything else with finances that we need to discuss?
The only other piece will come under buildings and grounds.
Okay.
Dusty stuff.
How many hours is in a month that position?
It's probably maybe 3 or 4 hours a week. And it really depends on what you want to see. Because there's a lot of things that I keep that are all like backup, so the historical information that we move forward. That was never really done before, so I think if you want to sort of maintain a system like we've got now, then it would be, a couple hours a week, and then when it comes time for the monthly board meeting, that takes a little longer to put together. And part of this is because we don't pay for the budget, inclusion of QuickBooks Online. So that's why the budget part's done in Excel, because we don't have that available to us, and it's really, it's
Is
the
that
only
my
other
phone?
thing, and it's almost twice as expensive as what we're paying, like $691 a year for the QuickBooks Online. But to get the budget based on the you don't know if that's really worth it.
Spend that money, what will be from Saturday,
I think so, because if they're willing to run sort of the ancillary reports that support all of this, and give you some background, we keep a running total of what our national grid is. We keep track of the gallonage for hometown oil. So it's not just paying the bills, it's kind of like looking at where we are, and that makes doing the budget from year to year a lot easier. So you're not like, having to go digging through things.
All right, so we'll move on to policies and procedures. Sarah and Megan, I think, want to tell us what they think about the multi-factor. And that's a way of signing onto their computer so that it's like a security measure, an extra. So like we all do it now for when we go on our Air Visa or on our bank.
So Sarah and I both, we talked about it and we agreed that we would just like to receive a phone call with a PIN to put in instead of using our cell phones. I am notorious for not remembering my cell phone. So I think that works best for us.
When I read over that paper, they said the only downside would be is if you're trying to get on the computer and Sarah's talking to somebody on the phone, right? Because
Right.
it's
But
what
we do
happened
get
to
a
us.
call, we do get a beep if there's someone waiting, trying to call in,
Oh, okay.
so we would know, and we're not idiots. So if I'm waiting for a code, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
get
mean,
on the
you're
phone.
usually in this area, so
Right.
you know. So, I mean, I guess you could take the phone to the back if you needed to, if you were looking for something, but
Right.
yeah, you probably figure it out. So when do you think, who would help you set that up? Did Sal set that up?
I believe so. I just need to look this over again,
Okay,
and then get in touch with them.
so maybe if you guys could set a goal of having that by the end of the year, is that reasonable? And then just writing up your procedure and then and then give it to the policy and procedure committee, and then we'll look it over and make it into a copy that we can put into our handbook.
Okay.
Okay? And so long range, does the long range committee have anything?
We did that.
Okay. And fundraising? Is that,
No, I just texted, Dina and let her know that we. And we'll maybe talk about ordering some things to sell for the holidays.
You didn't get back in touch with Laura Southern.
That's on my,
You said, I saw her today and asked, and she said you hadn't yet.
no,
Okay,
misplaced.
you can do it before you go home.
Yes.
okay,
Do you know?
we'll do buildings and grounds next,
No,
but I'll
never mind, Laura
handle
hasn't
the
had-
first
she has a
one.
library card.
Because I'm not sure that, I mean, the appeal letter is getting money from the buildings. So I guess, or that could have gone under new business, I'm not really sure where to put it. So, but anyway, I talked to Janie and she said that she would like to head up putting together that appeal letter. So she's gonna start working on it and have a, have a dry run for us and then send it out, have us all take a good look at it. If anybody has any clever ideas of how to have a theme in the letter or something that, ties into Bolton or the lake or, something like that. Certainly it's fun to be creative with.
Michelle and I were talking earlier today about, I know that Dina has said she would like to include like a survey with the letter. And I think that, I don't know that people will actually do that. But I think the question could be asked, are we doing enough? What else could, what else, do you have any recommendations, suggestions, that type of thing should be included in a letter?
Or could we just include a link to a website that people, if they wanted to do one?
We could probably just put a QR code on the letter, if you get a QR code, put it on the letter, and then that could take you to the Google Forms page or something.
Only because rather than people, they don't wanna write back.
Right, yeah.
But when we did a survey a number of years ago, I don't remember how many people responded, but it wasn't enough to get a full picture of what people really wanted, from what I remember.
But if you're asking what they want, how are they supposed to tell you?
Unless they like to share.
Yes. Write it on the memo line?
No, well, you're giving them
Right.
and.
That's true,
And,
they
you
could
know,
stick
it's
it.
like, well, I mean, I was thinking about this, we wanted something, and I just, like, we put too much in our appeal letter, people don't read it. And I thought if we started with just, you know, we had a summer of extraordinary weather, and we were very grateful that we got that grant for that generator. You know, because that was one of the things that we did, and we actually had the power on for a bunch of times when the town didn't, but then say, but it's you who keep the lights on. And it is, it's you who buy the books, it's you who pay part of the salary.
Okay.
And then just, you know, you kind of just deal with that and you capitalize the you know, and then embolden it. And then, but, you know, you can just talk about the long range committee and just say that now, you know, we're asking you, what more can we do for you? What do you want to see? Like just two things. Or is there something you want to tell us? And then just, you know, kind of leave it at that.
And you think if they do have anything, then just put a note in with the check?
Yeah.
People do.
Yeah.
I mean, we get notes all the
Yes,
time,
Yeah.
you do, okay.
either, I don't think we've ever had a negative one.
We had a couple of negative, you know, survey answers, but I mean, a survey crafting is really an art form, and I don't know how effective the one survey that we did really was in the questions that we asked. So I know Dina wanted to include something about that, but I just say, you know, our long range planning committee is working on a 3 to 5 year plan, you know. What would you like to see added, or what are we not doing, or, you know, is there something you'd like to share? Just kind of leave it at that and then say, you know.
You also have to keep those
But
statements
then it's not.
very clear, because you don't want to be,
Oh, that's true.
If they're sending a check and
Then you know.
then you know who it is, if they have something negative to say or to say.
Or they just, you know, they send it in the envelope with no return address on it. I mean, if they have something negative to say, they're probably not sending us money. So maybe they send, you know,
Or maybe they
they
don't
send,
send money,
they
they
send,
send
I know,
things.
exactly. I mean, we did get just surveys back with no money. So we got some of that too.
I like the QR code. That you can anonymously, you know, it would be anonymous if you, yeah. And easier to just, I think, most people are used to working on their computers. It's easy to just go on and.
I think it would be easy for us, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All the folks, yeah.
Yeah. your mother's not.
Yeah,
She would get-
yeah, here's a,
And she
you know,
tells me.
a QR code for those inclined, if not, we'd love to hear from you. Yeah, just send it to know. So, all right, I'll mention all those things to James. Okay, so, and then Dusty has some things in buildings and grounds.
With Michelle's help. The vote, we need a vote to prepay hometown oil, so apparently we prepay them for fuel oil every year to get a better rate. We have a credit of $1,070.93, and we were looking for, did you say $1,500? Thank you.
Who was that?
Carrie,
Terry,
Make a motion to prepay $1,500 for next year, so it'll be, we'll have a total of $2,500.
I can second that. Elizabeth here.
So those in favor of prepaying for oil, say aye.
Aye.
Great.
we're working,
So,
So can I just go back to the appeal letter?
Yes.
Are you planning on doing this in-house stuffing? and
Yes.
Everything else?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'll
Because
get
we can
Trent to
start,
come do it.
okay, we can start working on that now, because we can print out the inserts and get the labels put on.
even if we don't have a letter, just. on
No,
the-
because the insert is a small envelope that the check goes in, so we can just print the labels and they go on, and then we can actually get you have to order the letter size envelopes, which you could, and the labels that we get from the county. Or how we do that, so a lot of that can get done before
Okay,
the letters even. printed.
so I'll get with you on the specifics of that, and then maybe we'll have a date to start, because we can physically put them together in that back room, right? We can-
Yeah, we just need to need to procure, I don't think there's many labels left, and I don't think there's many envelopes.
Can I ask what you get from the county?
The
Property stamp,
envelopes.
property label.
I'm for littles for you.
Okay.
And
Well,
the
I-
cost, you know, I mean,
okay. Yeah, I mean, we get it in alphabetical order by last name, and, yeah.
and do you want all properties? All the properties in the town?
Yeah, it was no duplicate,
That's it with what?
no duplicate.
They're some,
Yeah.
do you want
Do the-
commercial properties?
So it's property,
Yes.
yes,
So I'll-
personal property, commercial
Right.
property,
Yeah,
and
I'll
empty.
give you how I,
Say it again.
And then.
I will give Terry how to do it.
Yep, okay.
Son, you know, so he didn't. He didn't do a mock up of it, no. No.
Yes. All right, we've had a promise from the town that they're going to restripe our parking lots
Thank
and
God.
make it pretty. Carlos
But
working
that's
on
been
that.
for 8
Yeah,
months
yeah,
now.
so,
And Carly keeps calling and doesn't hear anything.
right, so she's totally working on it. But going along with that, we want to get new signs, no parking signs, and also no smoking sign.
What do you mean, no parking sign?
No, library parking, I'm sorry, library parking.
Library parking only.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, that, plus the no smoking sign, so we threw this around and we're gonna go with no smoking, no vaping. So we took out the marijuana, because you have to smoke marijuana, so we figured that's redundant. So, and it should be a little cheaper too, charged by the lenders on the sign. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not so, but what about all of the other substances that people can buy them?
Well, then you wouldn't have a big enough.
Free
your sign would be
sign.
too big.
Yeah, we could add a drug-free zone sign.
Because I mean, if I were a, with a, you know, snarky adolescent, I would say, oh, well, I can't do that and that, but I guess they're saying I can do this.
So, and we'll call the police.
Right.
Everyone handle it.
Please,
There, I mean, that's a thought.
I can ask them to put that there, and same, some,
Are you having the sign made?
So, and then we've got three different bids, and, the committee met, and Anthony Palazzo gave us the best prices for 600. What are the actual
Eight.
numbers?
8 signs are gonna cost, $300. Yes, but
Okay.
the other 2 bids, we're almost, one was $650 and one was $675, something like that. So he was considerably cheaper, and he's the local guy that has the natives.
Yeah, local
Yes.
guy. So
So
we'd
I
like,
think, I mean, he's like, I already have this material and I have that material, I would just have to buy this and that. And, you know, he would be able to make a sign, you know, pretty much like those. And the library parking, we decided to go with the blue and the green, the same as the
Same
handicap
as.
signs, so they'll stick out a little bit more than the brown, you know, the state park brown and gold.
Those were free.
Yeah. Great.
so we need a motion to approve the Palazzo.
Eight
So we
signs.
have a location for all these.
Yes, they go, but in the same
They
places,
got replaced.
actually, they already, yeah, they're already there, we're just. putting new ones up. So I guess our committee recommends that we go with
The
Palazzo,
cheapest
so,
one.
so those in favor,
Well,
those
we
in
need a
favor say
motion.
aye.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we need a motion, if we are a committee making a,
No, we need a motion to approve the expenditure.
oh, I thought we.
You don't need a second.
Oh, it's that you don't need
The
a
committee is
second.
actually making, the committee makes the motion.
Yeah, the committee can make that, that's what I was saying.
There we go.
That's-
All in favor, yes. Yes, all right. We're waiting to hear about our grant from the Pollen pollinator garden that's gonna go inside, haven't heard anything lately. And, Sarah has been looking for grants for us to make the door at the end of the ramp accessible, what are those push buttons to make.
It
open the
became very
door.
clear to us that today, this summer, there was a man and his child was definitely disabled. And so he was pushing her wheelchair and he had to open the door, the screen door, and then open the second door, and you're not supposed to have two doors, right? You also, it would have made it a lot easier for him if there was a push button and that or you could just push the door in. Plus, this door is so swollen that it's very difficult to open and close tightly. But then once you get inside, the bathroom door, while it's handicap accessible, is so heavy that, children struggle with it, older people struggle with it. So I think it's definitely something that we really need to look at. So Sarah is going to be looking at the ALA that we got the sidewalks.
Actually, it's not ADA accessible. We've got the width, it's the 36 inches, but we have to open it. If you have any.
The bathroom door or the,
The bathroom door meets the width
right,
requirements, but it doesn't meet the other requirements. Same
What
with
the
the sidewalk.
requirements would be, like making it lighter?
Ease of access, so that you can use one hand or no button.
Right.
It doesn't have to be an automatic door, but it has to be able to be opened. I think it was with one hand or a foot pole. So if you've got, I have to look it up to be sure on that. There's a couple of different options.
Okay.
the reason the doors is when the doors were done, they needed an exterior door for the attic because it wasn't insulated. And then the architect wanted the two doors to match.
Oh,
So that was the reason for the door, but I think now we have to be aware, it is true.
That was pre a lot of the policies too for requirements.
Yep.
Access.
that would definitely be a good thing to look into and hopefully take care of.
Even Patrice, who is the artist that has done the programs here, has said that bathroom door is even heavy for her. So she's really independent.
Mhm.
How about the door lock that was?
We believe, I don't know if you guys had come to a decision about it, but it is working now.
Oh, it is working again.
There is, because it got banged up, and I don't know when exactly that happened, the battery doesn't sit in tight without tape. And Carla is able to push it in tight, and then she uses packing tape to make sure it stays in there. So the door is working now.
And we do have a key to use.
Yeah,
So.
everybody who
Does
works
everybody
here
have to
definitely
have a
has,
key?
yes.
We all do. I don't have keys.
I don't want to keep it personally.
It's one more thing for me to, oh, I forgot the key at the house, but personally,
I think that Eric had turned his in, I'm not sure who
He did.
else. Yeah, so we should have one or two extra ones around, I still have one from when Carla gave them out about 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm just not sure whether you all need, I don't know why you all need to have a key to come in.
No,
So
and
if you want to have meetings.
Yeah,
library is
yeah.
now open.
some people, if they had, some things, so if you
Also
need to
fire
get
alarm.
in, just find one of us to have a key,
Right.
or, most of everything you do is when the library is open anyway, so.
Just one more question about Bonds and Grounds. What did we decide about the flagpole? We put it up.
Yes.
Okay.
So, thank you. So, anything else with the buildings? and
As
grounds?
long as, just as an agenda item, as long as something is undecided, you have to keep it on the agenda. So if the flagpole, if you have decided to not do it, you can remove it from the agenda. If you
Was it
are-
ever on the agenda?
I believe so.
Not on this one.
I'm not sure if it was on the last one.
I don't think,
I didn't take it off.
I think that,
I mean, when I was looking at this,
that's out there now.
I'm not sure if it was on the.
I don't know.
It is on the agenda for July.
It was.
So it has to stay, either you vote to not do anything about it at all and you remove it from the agenda, or it stays on the agenda until you actually resolve it.
All right, well, it was a mistake, we left it off. We deferred, we deferred the decision.
So we'll put, for next month, we'll put it back on
Mhm.
and it's tabled for now. And even if we continue to table it,
Right.
it just
You
stays
just
on.
leave it on the
until
agenda.
they decide to do something. Or vote for it. Okay. Book sale. Mary, anything to report?
You and I weren't going to store books till September, but Monday, September 2nd. So. Collected books.
And you told somebody the other day that they could bring them in.
Yes.
So-
Collection. We're just not sorting them yet. So-
Somebody did call and they asked if we were taking them, and I said, not a lot. I said,
No cookbooks.
oh, well, they
No,
are.
I know they are.
So are there any books up there now
Oh, yeah.
to be sorted?
I've just been taking books.
To be sorted?
Not a lot. I haven't like it.
You start up again.
And my
Yeah, a lot of
sister
them.
said, she said to ask you if you wanted her to continue saving them.
Okay, I'll check this out. We have
Okay.
20, which is great. I don't have more.
They're really good boxes.
The covers.
All right, and Sue is still on board for next year? All right, grants. Anything additional to, I think, Sarah did send out a report, if everybody had a chance to look at that, but
We've submitted the Pomeroy Foundation grant that was officially submitted. Will be assigned a historian to help us work with it. The only information we can have on the historical marker, if we receive the grant, has to be supported by primary documentation, and we can only support the charter years with primary documents. Wasn't able to find anything else.
But that's enough to make a nice little thing. So hopefully, once we get assigned a historian, they'll help us polish it up using those dates and, fingers crossed.
thank you. We'll go on then to personnel. I have to talk to Will, but Megan and I came up with a date to meet for her mid-year review on September 18th. And we would like to have one more person on the personnel committee. So if anyone is willing to do that, please let me know. You don't have to let me know right now. Well, we do a mid-year review and end of year review. Yes. And unless any other things come up or arise, we could, end up having meetings if we need to. And I guess we'll have, when we did meet to talk about salary for next year, things like that, so. Sunshine Committee.
You need to know the July ones. I think I told you. July.
You talk about that.
August, Laura, she lives at the top of the hill, so I walked to the hill, she put the reporter and gave her thank you note in a jam, so she was impressed.
Oh,
So she did a good job. And now I wanted to ask you, I did not do a thank you, there was a very Kincaid for taking that tree down, because we were gonna wait, because it was he doing flag pole too.
Yeah.
So do you want me to send him a thank you?
Oh,
To the tree down.
Broke up, but that's not a big deal.
but should we send him a thank you for the tree?
Yeah, I think a
Yes,
tree,
absolutely.
a tree right now, and if he does something
Yeah,
else, we
then
can do
let's-
another one, right?
Sounds
Yeah.
And we did send a bouquet of flowers to Sue a couple days after
Oh, okay.
the book
Nice.
sale.
Okay.
Send her some
Okay,
flowers
good.
from the board. And we also did give a gift card to the township workers, to Stewart's for lunch, because we never heard back from them about buying lunch.
I talked to him, he was gonna talk to his men, and then he was gonna get back to me, and he didn't. So then I saw him the other day, and I said, didn't get back to me, and he said that he had already gotten the gift card. for them.
Oh, okay, good. So I'm glad to hear that you got it, because I gave it to
He was
somebody.
very happy.
Yes, okay, he was good. So, but can anybody else think of any thank yous that need to go out? Anything else happen here at the library? Any?
Please have a look at Ken and Rosemary Arnold for donating the fire pit.
No.
they need one, they want somebody else.
Good thinking. I feel like there was something else too.
And maybe Henry, the baskets is almost over.
We would, I think that they usually do that after the
So
drawing.
you kind of give
Mary, what's her last
Arnold. And
name?
we have to look it up. There's something else.
yeah, do we need to?
Lynn Hall.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the name, but.
Was that
Lynn
Lynn?
Hall.
Oh, Lynn.
We have
So
to
we're all thinking about her. Is there anything else donated, given, done to the library? No. Okay, well, if you think of anything.
Usually when something comes in my head and it's in, I let Mary know right away.
Right.
Otherwise,
All right, so farmer's market, we pretty much went through that already, unless anybody has any additions.
Just a suggestion from my mom working at the,
Oh, good.
farmer's market. She thought if by chance we had a ton of, paperbacks left, like from the book sale or whatever, that it might be nice to just keep a selection and let somebody have, let somebody take them.
your mom's talking about it, it's called a Little Free Library.
Okay.
And because she, after she talked to you, she did talk to me,
Okay.
and I think she's also talked to Sarah.
Okay.
Her idea was to actually, have something set up at the church. So at the farm, when we take stuff over to the farmer's market, we would restock the library. I have a small concern. I don't want the church to tell us what books we can and can't have there. So I would prefer not to do it there. But, Deanne came in today and talked with Sarah.
She had a great idea about putting in some kind of a little library thing with Veterans Park, to keep it stocked with kids' books, old picture books and things, because it's kind of a kids' beach.
And then have one here that would be adult paperbacks outside,
Yes,
so that it would be open after hours.
like we have one in our town hall.
Yep.
That, and you don't have to, the doors aren't locked, you come in and whatever.
I love the
Narwhal
idea.
has one now too.
I love-
Narwhal,
Yeah,
yeah, right, with
Oh, that's
12
big, yeah.
lunches, yeah,
Yeah.
for all the campers and stuff,
Yeah.
so.
Kind of been
yeah,
one of our
extra.
goals. And it's not
And they give us
shop
money.
anymore, or whatever, it's whatever that class is now called at school, technology.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
They were going to build us one,
Oh.
and then it didn't
Yeah.
happen. But I would love to see one out here. And we
Do you think if we put something out on social media, there would be a carpenter or handy person around that would be willing to build us a small
It can't hurt to ask.
lending library?
You put it right in the building.
Attach it to the building, yeah.
About the beach,
Yeah.
it's a brand, yeah, and I know Diamond Point has like a little shed by their library, that she would just go and take
Sarah, did we say Little Tree Library? We were talking about it the other day.
What call it, you mean?
'Cause I've seen ones where they actually take, like, if they've had a tree taken down, they make the stump into they put doors on it, and it's actually really cute. But I wanna get to it. And just understand that before we can say something like
I mean,
that.
you can actually buy them on Etsy and
Yep.
things like that for about, yeah, for about $600 or $700
hard to
get them. I mean,
We just
You
can't
can't-
call it a little free library, because then we have to register with the Little Free Library Organization. But we
I
can
think
do our
that's
own.
okay.
Huh?
I think it'd be okay to register with them. It
Yeah,
doesn't,
yeah.
you
But I
can't,
mean,
yes,
we
it
can do our
is
own
a
thing, too.
copyrighted name. You have to register with Little Free Library in order to follow the Little Free Library.
Then I'll put down the big master that.
In Massachusetts, all the towns, like, they were pumping up everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I love them.
Everywhere.
That's a nice idea.
No.
I see any back here.
Yeah, it's with all the-
We have like 4 in Chestertown. Oh, really? Yeah. But they are nice.
right, they really are just boxes in the door. and
Could be super
people
simple.
painted and-
You have to be sure they're waterproof. The other thing Deanne had suggested was, she said, when she volunteered, she had people ask, how do you get a library card? And so Sarah came up with this, which we would have, for next year, and just go to the library, show your ID, get a card. Very
Okay.
simple.
And
Like
you
I
don't
said,
have to be a local resident.
you do not.
A lot of people thought they did.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so if I could ask for a motion to approve all the committee reports?
I'll make a motion. I second.
All in favor?
Yes,
Aye. Okay, under unfinished business, we already talked about the Pomeroy Foundation grant, so we're good there. The training requirements, the 2 hours, when there's one that's coming up that is specifically about being a trustee. It's on October 3rd, and I mean, they have it in person or virtual, so that would be a really good. It's an hour and a half.
Oh.
If you're going online.
It is, it's from Sal's. Sal's is doing it, and Megan forwarded the email, I think the day before yesterday.
Yes. So we have.
You do have to register.
Yeah, it would be good to register, because then you'll get a certificate, or for some reason it gets messed up that you don't get your certificate, you can certify. She has a paper that you can kind of
Just,
fill out.
I know it's only August, it is August. It has to be done before the end of the year.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I mean, I have to report it in my annual report to the state. And the state is requiring it, so please. Get it done.
Pretty pleased you should earn it.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you.
It can be done virtually.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can just do it on.
Yes. There are also some that that book club, the
Yes.
library trustee handbook book club, those are recorded. So you can actually just, pull it up and listen to it.
On.
I can send you the link again.
Yeah.
That's the one I use.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. If you even type in, I'm sure Sal's Library Book Club.
Okay.
You
Actually, you know what, if you go to the South website, which is, I believe it's, you have to include the www for some reason. There is a link there to the book club.
And it's actually, it's trustee training.
Yes,
Trustee Book Club is exactly what it's for, right?
it's the trustee handbook book club.
Okay.
And the sexual harassment training has to be done as well.
I can't remember whether I've done.
Yeah,
that
me
or not.
either. Do you have?
I will look.
Yeah.
I also brought this with me, at Skidmore, I just spent 2.5 hours doing training, including.
It counts.
So that it counts,
Yes.
so I brought that.
So I'll take that. Very easy.
I'm like, so,
Can you take
Actually, for next month, I'll give an update.
2 of those hours and make it your All right, so all hours at the library. So if we went back to what they were last year, would you, just oh yeah, go ahead, finish writing.
Yes, I have bookmarks from that, Sarah did last year. We decided to stop dating them, so we can use them over and over again if you just want to take one and pass it around. So these are for the fall, winter, spring hours, and then the summer one is different.
Based on your observation of the past several years, how soon should we transfer over to these fall hours?
You already had decided at the May meeting that we would do it that we would stay open the extra hours until the 8th.
Oh, that's right, we did talk about that one, September 8th. Okay, so
We don't need to decide. You already
we
did.
already did.
You guys are ahead of the game.
Okay, any other communications that we need to be building?
So the Schenectady County Public Library has set a date as to when they're leaving the joint automation project. And we need to have a policy as to how we are going to handle it. Sarah and I talked a lot about this because just number one, have not been able to figure out why they're doing it. But we do have a few patrons who have Schenectady Library cards, and we don't want them to be punished because of what Schenectady is doing, so we would like to see them treated the same. The only thing we would do is give them a Bolton Free Library card, which then works in our. So that, and in fact, today, someone who had a Schenectady card, she needed a Bolton one anyway, she doesn't live in Schenectady. So that's, it. But I believe we need to have a written policy as to how we're going to handle it from going forward. And so my suggestion is that we just continue, give the patrons a new library card issued through the Southern Adirondack Library System.
Can I ask a question? Can you tell how many books, when people are requesting books to come out of the Schenectady Public Library, that
There's a way to tell. There is one report that generates all the communities, and I can pull that up.
Yeah, I'd just be curious how many, when our patrons request books, how many come out of the Schenectady Library?
Oh, that I don't know. Hang on. I'll have to find out.
Maybe I'm not thinking about this right, but why would we need a policy? If we don't accept, they're not.
You're
part
not
of
going
the
to
system
change your
anymore.
policy. If your policy is just to continue what we're doing now,
Right.
then I don't think you need a policy. If you were going to change what we do now, then you have to write something.
But
And
I'm
I
just
believe-
thinking that just like if someone didn't have a Bolton or Sal's card, they would
Get a card.
get a card.
I just want to make sure that your butts are covered.
But it is in that, and I don't know if you had a chance to even read through this. From
The whole thing that they said,
Yeah.
we have to make policy.
They want to know, the Malta Library, the Clifton Park Library, the libraries that are closer to Schenectady, they use Crandall. Those are the libraries that are going to be more impacted than we are, other than within a resort area. You've got people that go back and forth because it's a logistics and a time thing. If you are going to use them, you no longer have the delivery system through Sal's or through Mohawk Valley is who they belong to.
So in other words, people could have been up here in Bolton that have Schenectady card, they would take a book and take it home with them and then deliver it to a different library.
Same way.
Yes, so
I guess I didn't.
any of the libraries in our system already, if you borrow a book from Saratoga, you can return it here and the other way around. Well, you could also do that with the Mohawk Valley Library. You would no longer be able to take it to one of the Schenectady County Public Libraries because there's not going to be a delivery between them and us. So that has to be, if we're going to give a patron a card from us, it's just something that Sarah and I are going to have to remember to do, is to tell them that they have to return it to one of our libraries, not their home.
Will their card look any different if they're from Schenectady?
It
Because
does.
all of ours say Sal's, right?
Right.
In all
Theirs
the
is different.
towns.
There's that Mohawk Valley Library system.
And I think that Schenectady County Public Libraries are orange, they're bright orange. And as of right now, I can only think of 3 people that actually have those cards, and one doesn't anymore. So, it's not that big a deal. But they loved having an orange card because it was easy to find.
What about lending our materials out? Is that
We are not
also
doing it
considered?
anymore. As of, so Sal's recommended, since they are leaving, I believe it's December 1st. They just said not to loan anything after August 31st. And we kind of started already.
Okay,
But
so,
unfortunately, I do feel bad for those patrons that, not that they get a lot of books from me, but they certainly, get books from our libraries, and so they're not gonna be able to get them now, which really is too bad.
Unless each of the libraries makes its own,
Right.
relationship, and who knows, they may get their own delivery system.
Yep.
Like a third party operation.
right, the upcoming, or any more communications, Megan?
I did want to talk about the Great Give Back. I
Okay.
would really love to participate in that. I had sent out some suggestions there's, like you could do a clothing drive or a food drive. There is, a food pantry at the, church on County River Weapons. Is it the church on the rock? Something. There's also North Country Ministries, they collect clothing, and necessities, and that's a very good charity. The one that really kind of touches my heart is one that Michelle told me about, where you don't know, there is somewhere a shelter for battered women. And
It's through Catholic Charities.
it is through Catholic Charities, and they will just, they don't tell anybody where it is.
Right.
But the idea of being able to help that group of people is, to me, is really special. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things we could be doing, and we certainly have time to be thinking about it. But I do want to participate.
So how would that look, that we would just put on social media? Come by the library and bring it, and we'll see that the charity gets it? Is that? what
Let
you're-
me talk to Jack, because Jack Scott themselves is the one who sent out the email. And he did, he gave us some things that you do. You just populate the website, make contact lists, all this different things. So
So if
let
we
me talk
did
to him
this
first.
Catholic Charities, do we have a contact person to them?
You need to call them and see what they're taking.
Okay.
There's another charity that I had read about that when women are going back to work and they need professional clothing, they need, and I had also read somewhere about, there's an organization that collects pocketbooks or, like a briefcase type thing, so that, because those can be expensive, and it's a really great thing for someone to go back to work
But would we have to store what we collect?
for a very short period of time.
Or so we would just collect it that day and ask
We
people
could,
to come down and bring it, and then.
I think you could probably collect it
For a week before.
a week before and say a week after even. I need to get more information from Jack before I commit myself to this. Right.
So if anybody has a charity that they work with, or yes, specifically, I mean.
When we have collected food in the past, we did very well. I think Michelle made 2 trips over the North Country Ministry.
Our church does, donates to Open Door, Open Door, and also to the White House. And those are for young pregnant women that they stay there and then until they're paid for, and they help them do whatever. And so that's a really good share.
So you can do a baby shower. So, okay, Megan, you'll find out.
I
and
will let you
then
guys know.
Then maybe what we could do is down to 1 or 2, and then everybody say, have a little silent vote or something, I don't know. But, I mean, we say there's a lot of time, but there'll only be 1 other meeting before then,
Right.
so. we will have time.
I'll talk to Jack this week.
Okay.
We have plenty of time tomorrow. Sarah's not coming in. It's your first Thursday, not here, isn't it? No programs tomorrow night. I'm so excited.
All right, so upcoming events, we know about the game nights, the toddler playtime,
Let me
coffee
just
hour.
make sure you understand, realize there is no game night this week because it's
Labor
Labor
Day.
Day.
Right.
I did try to jump the gun, and last week I had to let Tammy in because of a law. So when I was getting ready to leave, I said, by the way, Tammy, I just want to let you know that we are going back to the off-season hours, and so you're no longer on the schedule for Mondays, and you would be on call. And she's like, okay. So then when I came in later for game night, Sarah said to me, so you told Tammy we don't need her on Monday? And I'm like, yeah. She said, why? And I said, because we're closed.
Right.
And then I was aware that that was not Labor Day. There is no game night this coming day.
For college. Right.
And I do have to, the coffee hour is just, people are really responding to it. It's been great. The Tops is donating the pastries, but there's a woman who always bakes and brings something, which is much better than the donuts.
Right.
And I think because it's summertime, the toddler play out, that time has been, there have been kids coming into that, but once the summer's over, it's probably gonna go back to the way it was.
So when's the next copy on? September 3rd then?
We are not
First Tuesday?
doing it
Oh,
for September because Tuesday is really nuts in here.
okay,
So, we're gonna do it in October.
okay.
No September.
No September.
Yeah, if any, trustees can go to that, it's nice for us to make a visit, it's a nice way to talk to people and find out what, get the
We
pulse.
can survey them there.
Yes, actually, that would be a great place.
No,
to
it
start.
really is.
I've actually said, when I've gone back to participate, one of the reasons we wanted to do this is that we're looking for input from you. What else can we be doing for you? Is there something you think we should have? That kind of thing. And so far, no one has had any suggestions.
Well, they're happy.
That's right. The gentleman that's speaking in September 5th, is he definitely, I mean, have we heard from him again? Or anything?
I have not, and I don't believe that there was a way to get in touch with him there.
He has an
And his
Etsy,
not book isn't for sale.
he has an Etsy page, we could look him up that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should try to, before we do any advertising with any degree,
Should-
I think we should make sure that we get a hold of him and that he's still planning on.
I'll work on
coming.
that tomorrow. He's not selling this book. Well, he is selling it on Etsy, but you said it was $1,000.
When I wrote.
So,
It was very,
$1,000 for the book.
I think it was pretty, something exorbitant.
I think it was $100.
That's it.
This one, yeah, I do self-publishing like a lot of them do, and we just hadn't figured out how to work with it. It's fine for anyone else.
I go to the library.
Just to give you a heads up, I'm at a conference for. I won't be here.
Okay, does anybody else know if they're available at the next one yet? Either of the two areas? Okay.
You never go to it.
That's what I'm saying.
New York.
Yeah, November 25th.
Mine was Tuesday.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and we'll adjourn the meeting then at 7:56. What I read.
First and second.
Yeah.
Make a motion, I make the motion. Yeah, we were talking very. You forgot.
Remember.
You didn't write anything on it.
Right.
Make a meeting
Oh,
right away.
She would like write her
The one
name
that
on it.
doesn't have anything on it.
That's either one. Yes.
I don't know, the Polaris on this.
Give me 1 sec, I gotta get out of here.
The week before September
That's the one that
18th.
you.